The most common question I get after showing the card trick is, how long do you remember it? It all depends on how often I repeat it. A deck of cards is not something that I maybe want to remember, so I don't think of it. But if it's something I've learned, words in a language or whatever, I need to repeat them to remember them longer. So this learning curve that you see here is probably the most important curve you need to know. It's also the oldest curve in psychology, made in the 1890s by Ebbinghaus, a psychologist who studied how we forget. And he saw that people, immediately after they learn something, they start to forget. And there's a decay curve for this. It means that the information doesn't just disappear, but with time it decays. And if you repeat, every time you repeat, you lift the information up to the level of where you know it. So it's very important to know this curve and to do repetitions, and preferably spaced repetitions. So how do you do a good repetition? Well, what you do is you close your eyes, for instance, and if you've used the method of Loki and put information to different places, you close your eyes and you walk through your journey and see the images you have put there. And that is how you repeat it. And if the images doesn't come easy, probably you waited too long. So it's like, oh, you have to re-memorize the information, then you waited too long. If you see the images clearly and quickly, then you know that, okay, it hasn't passed too long. So that is what you need to do. You need to repeat directly after you learned, and then maybe you can wait for 15 minutes, for instance, and then you can wait for approximately an hour, etc. This curve is a little bit individual for each person, but as you study and as you learn more, you will see that, after half an hour I really need to repeat, otherwise I would forget. So experiment a little bit with the time. If you're studying, for instance, after, let's say, 15 minutes or half an hour, what you do is you flip through the pages backwards and you see what you've just learned, and that is a quick repetition. So this part of the course sums up what we need to know in terms of active memory techniques to create very good memories. First, I told you need to have the right mindset, and you need to focus either when you study or when you hear a name or a word, etc., to put it into memory. Then you're ready to use the active memory techniques, which is the link method, to link information together, pieces of information together. Then if you see something you don't understand, you make an association, you look at it, you see what does it look like, what does it smell like, etc., and you make an association. And the third thing is you use using the method of Loki, you can put the information in different places so you know how to find it. And if you want to remember it for a long term, you used spaced repetitions. So these 6 steps will make it possible for you to create strong and good memories directly. And that is what we want.